Everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Missoula County acknowledges that this event takes place in the Aboriginal territories of the Salish and Cleese people. And also, we didn't have a public meeting last week, but that would have been, last Thursday would have been exactly 134 years since Sophie Moïse, for which this room is named after. She was 27 years old when she was forced to leave the Bitterroot and march up to Arlie. So, yeah, October 14th, it was a 3-day journey, so it would have ended on Thursday. Public announcements.
Hello, everyone. If you're joining us for this meeting virtually today, instructions for turning on closed captioning are on your screen. Yep, we haven't done this for a minute. If you're joining us in person, we'll have closed captioning on all the screens here in the Sophie Moïse room. Just a reminder, there'll be multiple chances during the meeting for public comment. During those times, if you'd like to speak, we ask that you use the raise hand feature if you're on Microsoft Teams. And of course, in the room, raise your hand. If you're calling in on the phone, you'll need to hit *5 to raise your hand. Then once called upon, you'll need to hit *6 to unmute. If you have any questions during the meeting, please come and find me. Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Travis.
Hi there, Travis Mateer, 25-year resident. So today I'm going to express some of my frustrations about information and how I have a request in because I'd like to get some information like the autopsy and toxicology reports of my dead coworker who was determined by the coroner that she died from an accident. You know, I can't really determine one way or the other if that is the accurate determination. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a citizen journalist who washes dishes professionally. But today I talked to Bob. Okay, Bob lives in Boston, and Bob has some questions about a serial killer, just like I have questions about a serial killer. Kevin Leno in 2014 fled Missoula after murdering someone. I provided timely information in the hopes that he would be caught. When he was not caught in Missoula, he fled with other individuals. Monty Swanson was one of those people. Monty Swanson has never been found. He's presumed dead. So Bob is in Boston, and Bob is going to be looking at Kevin Leno, the fact he caught 2 new indictments, and one of those indictments is from a lethal hot shot. That's a lethal amount of heroin that Kevin Leno is accused of giving someone, leading to death. Hot shots are something I am interested in because I think that is a type of death that's been happening in Missoula among the marginalized population I once helped as a homeless outreach coordinator and a staff member of the PAW from 2008 to 2016. And in that capacity, I've come across a lot of dangerous individuals, and I continue bringing attention to dangerous individuals that are not being held accountable. Now, I get that there might be some reluctance to acknowledge we might have a serial killer. You know, Delphine Farmer is someone who was murdered, and there's never been a suspect arrested in her case. We've never found, let's see, Jermaine Charlo. I have questions about so many other cases, but I'm going to talk to Bob hopefully next week and record a little segment that maybe people in Boston will watch. Bob later today is going to be talking to a criminologist. Isn't that cool? That's so neat. I have serious questions, and I think back in the day, we had a county attorney that liked to hide behind criminal justice information. That is currently what's happening with my request for the accidental drowning death of my coworker, which doesn't make sense to me because it's an accident. So I should be getting criminal justice information as requested. I will keep requesting, and I will keep talking, and I will keep bringing attention to the things that I think we need to focus on as a community. As a former member of law enforcement over in City Council on Wednesday, decided to try and make a cut to the program that I used to be the rock star of. So I'm going to continue doing what I do, bringing attention to things, and I thank you for your time and attention. And I apologize for my lack of Legos today. When I have Legos, I'm so much more entertaining. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. Any more for public comment on items not on the agenda? This microphone is weird. The audio, is anyone getting? Thank you.
I turned it down.
Okay, thank you. this better? Yeah, thank you. It was echoing in my head. Okay, we have 2, 4, 5 public hearings today. Oh, excuse me. That's an alarm. Current claims list as of September 25th, 2025 to October 15th, 2025 by the Commissioner's Office totals $4,900,165.39. You can all see all of this on the Missoula County website and dive deeper if you want to. Okay, our first hearing is with, I believe, Sam Scott. Oh, there is Sam. Petition to abandon a portion of Clark Avenue.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is our second/third hearing. And again, Sam Scott with the Clerk and Recorder. Second/third hearing on a petition to abandon a portion of Clark Avenue adjacent to lots 1 and 10 of Burns Addition. Before we hear from Mike with the road viewers report, I just want to say thank you to the landowners, particularly for navigating the adventurous path to get this petition to its hopefully final hearing today. We have resolved the jurisdictional issues. The city officially de-annexed Monday evening, so it is back under your purview. So we can move forward with this hearing and wrap this up today. So,
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Is that on? Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Mike Tester with the Surveyor's Office. I've got the investigation report. It's for the 30-foot wide right-of-way adjacently north to lots 1 and 10 of Burns Addition subdivision in Missoula, Montana, located in the southeast 1/4 of Section 30, Township 13 North, Range 19 West, Principal Meridian, Montana. Date of the investigation was Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Road investigators, Josh Slotnick, Commissioner, myself, Mike Tester, Land Survey Manager, met on site at approximately 1:15. Kirk Mace, the owner of lots 2 through 10 of Burns Addition, was also present. There was a investigation and a brief discussion. There is no physical road currently built within the right-of-way. The road investigators recommend abandonment of the public road right-of-way as described in the petition.
Thank you, Mike. Do you have anything to add?
It was a good visit. Mike did a great job explaining. Mr. Mace was on site, did a good job of explaining. It seemed fairly clear cut to me. The space is super narrow. There's no road there. Property owner's home is adjacent to what would be a road if there was a road small enough to fit. So it seemed fairly clear cut to me.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this? Okay. Do you have a motion?
Do we have motion language?
Is it just in the,
Oh,
it would just
sorry,
be whatever's on the
Sorry.
packet there.
I would move to request the board to approve the petition to abandon a portion of Clark Avenue located in Section 30, Township 13 North, Range 19 West, lying along lots 1 and 10 of Burns Addition.
second, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Now we have McAllister Family Transfer. I believe Kevin Dantic is presenting. Yes, thank you. I'm like looking for you out there. Like,
Right here.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Kevin Dantic, planner with Missoula County Department of Planning, Development, and Sustainability. Today, I'll be presenting the McAllister Family Transfer Request. This request is by James and Lori McAllister. Lynn Edens from Montana Northwest Company is the technical representative. The property itself is addressed as 3912 South 7th Street West. Lies approximately 1.7 miles west of Reserve Street and about 0.2 of a mile east of Clements Road. You can see the property outlined here in the dashed lines. Here we see a close-up view of the property. Parcel is zoned rural residential small agriculture, RRS 0.5, and is included in the 2019 Missoula land use element, which is the amendment of the 2016 growth policy. Both of those have a recommended density of 2 dwelling units per acre. The proposed division will meet the criterion set forth by the aforementioned zoning regulations and growth policy. The applicable land use designation identifies agricultural and horticultural uses as important but secondary to residential uses and encourages clustering development. The parcel is accessed by South 7th Street West, which is a Missoula County maintained roadway. Before you are the existing conditions on the parcel. The parent tract was created by the filing of Dinsmore's Orchard Homes number 5 on September 5th, 1901, as recorded in Book 1 Micro, page 10, contains 3.99 acres. It's currently developed with 1 single-family residence constructed in 1940 and various accessory buildings. The claimant's proposal is to utilize the family transfer exemption to divide the 3.99 subject property. The family transfer will result in the division of the parcel into 2 new 1.44 acre tracts. One tract will be owned by the claimant's adult son, Caleb McAllister, and one tract will be owned by the claimant's adult married daughter, Jessica McAllister Lewis. The proposed family transfer tracts are intended to be developed by the recipients in the future to live close to family. The remaining 1.11 acre tract will be retained by claimants James and Lori McAllister. They're retaining that. They're actually the previous owner of this property is living in that home, and they're letting that previous owner reside there until her passing. In addition, the Missoula County Clerk and Recorder's Office has identified a historic underlying boundary on the parent tract, and the claimants are seeking a proposed aggregation to expunge that boundary. As far as the aggregation info, 2 deeds recorded in April of 1966 reference a parcel of land whose boundary does not appear to have been expunged. More on that on the next slide here. This is the approximate location of that identified underlying boundary, outlined here in the yellow. It's to the east of this other parcel. The parent tract of the exemption has been transferred since this parcel was mentioned in the 1966 deeds, and there's been no further reference to the preceding parcel outlined here. Again, there are no rebuttable presumptions that apply to the aggregation exemption. Proposed family transfer again is intended to give Caleb, the landowner's son, and Jessica, the landowner's daughter, each a tract of 1.44 acres. 61A here to Caleb, 61B to Jessica. And again, the claimants will retain lot 61C down here that abuts South 7th Street West. As proposed, all these tracts all would be within the acreage range of geographically adjacent lots. As part of the review process, we send this out for agency comment. 2 agency comments were received. Karen Baldridge from Missoula County Clerk and Recorder commented on that aforementioned historic tract of record, for which the claimants are requesting the aggregation exemption. Rita Hagler from the Missoula County Public Works Building Division commented that there are no open permits or code violation, but as is standard, all future development on the parcels will require all appropriate permits. In reviewing the request, staff considers Chapter 8.4 of the Missoula County zoning regulations, which lists general evasion criteria when evaluating claimed exemptions to determine if the request could be considered evasion to subdivision review. There were 2 criterion identified that possibly indicate evasion. The grantors own property to the north of this property line on the north side, which is accessed by South 3rd Street West. Recipient Caleb McAllister owns land on South 11th Street West in Missoula. And if this were to go through full subdivision review, commissioners, we would consider extension of a street grid. Right here to the east of the parent tract, we have the 1969 filed Riley edition. We would possibly consider this extension of South 6th Street West in order to complete somewhat of a street grid. It could be a condition of approval if this went through full subdivision review. Those are the most appropriate exemptions to utilize for the claimants aim to accomplish today, based on the information submitted in the application and affidavit. Are James and/or Lori McAllister present in person or online? Thank you, folks. I'll have you come up to the microphone here, please. You see the green light on there?
Yes.
Perfect. I'll be asking you just a few questions. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
Perfect. Did you buy the property with the intent of dividing it?
If dividing means transferring it to our children, then yes, that was our whole goal.
Do you or the transferees intend to transfer the property within the next 2 years, the next year, excuse me?
Transfer it to our children?
No, to another person.
Oh, not at all.
Have you ever talked with anybody at Missoula County about going through full subdivision review?
I can't remember exactly when it was, but we met with Jenny Dixon, I believe, with the planning office when we had the opportunity to purchase the property, and we were telling her what our plans were. And she was the first one that indicated to us that, oh, a family land transfer may be appropriate for this. So, and we said, what's that? So she explained it. And that's, that was the beginning of why we're here today.
Thank you. Will the property be developed by the recipients?
It developed to the extent that they intend to build primary residences, yes.
Thank you. And will the recipients of the property be residing on the property? Perfect. Thank you, folks. Commissioners, did you have any questions for James or Lori?
No, it seems pretty straightforward.
Is there anyone from Northwest who has anything to add? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. I'm good making a motion. Come on.
In conclusion, staff recommends approval with the motions presented on the screen before you. Commissioners, here is your language.
Thank you.
Thanks. I would move to approve the request by James and Lori McAllister to utilize the family transfer exemption as presented in the exemption application and affidavit.
Second, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye. Oh, oh, there's two more.
We also had,
Aggregation as well, right? So, sorry about that. I would move to approve the request by James and Lori McAllister to utilize the aggregation exemption as presented in the exemption application and affidavit. Thanks, Kevin.
Second, any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sorry
folks.
we got that
Good luck.
backwards. Okay, and next we have Hertz Family Transfer with Katie Reeder.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Katie Reeder, planner with the Office of Planning, Development, and Sustainability. Today, I will be presenting the Hertz Family Transfer. This exemption is requested by Adam and Brittany Hertz. This family transfer is located at 10414 Royal Coachman Drive, Missoula, off Acona Ranch Road. The subject property is zoned Rural Residential Small Agriculture, RRS1, which has a density recommendation of 1 dwelling unit per acre. The parcel is approximately 5.36 acres, and the land use designation is Rural Residential and Small Agriculture per the 2019 Missoula Area Land Use Element, which has a recommended density of 2 dwelling units per acre. The applicants reside in their existing single-family residence with their 3 daughters. Here is the existing conditions of the property. The property is currently developed with an existing single-family residence. This is where Adam and Brittany reside. The applicants would like to transfer 1.07 acres to their 3 minor daughters, and the applicants will retain the remaining 4.29 acres. The applicants intend to gift their daughters a future residence on Lot 2B. The applicants will continue to reside on the existing Lot 2A with no further development planned. Here's a graphic that shows what the proposal looks like with Lot 2A as Adam and Brittany's home to the north part of the property, and the family transfer parcel, Lot 2B, here at the south half of the property. As you know, part of the process for family transfers is sending out the application to various Missoula County agencies for comments and reviews. The Missoula County Building Division discovered there was an open and expired permit on the house, and the applicants worked with Missoula Rural Fire to get the final inspection completed. They also noted any future structures on the site will require the appropriate building and/or trade permits. The Missoula County Environmental Health Division will require sanitation review and/or the applicable exemptions since the parcel is less than 20 acres. In reviewing this request, there was one rebuttable presumption general evasion criteria identified to possibly indicate evasion. However, we do not identify this request as an evasion of subdivision and will be recommending approval. Is Adam or Brittany in the audience? Hi. I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? Did you buy the property with the intent of dividing it?
No.
Okay. Do you or your transferees intend to transfer the property within the next year?
No.
Have you talked to anyone at the county about going through subdivision review for this property?
No.
And will the property be developed?
Eventually when they're adults, yeah.
And will the recipients of the property be residing on the property?
Yeah, when they're adults.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Again, we recommend approval with the motion on the screen before you today. Commissioners, here's your language.
Thanks, Kitty. Is there anyone from Worth who has anything to say? Okay. And Adam, is there anything you want to add? Anyone else have questions?
Sure. Adam, could I ask you a question? First, it's nice to see you again. So my question is, why now with kids this age?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, because the downside is I'm going to have to pay taxes on this for a while as a new lot. But when we first bought it, the zoning didn't allow this. It was a 5-acre minimum, if I remember correctly. And so the covenants allow it, the zoning allows it. I have enough experience to know that those things change. And so I noticed when the zoning had changed that it probably made sense to do it now.
Any other questions? Motion?
All right, I would move to approve the request by Adam and Brittany Hertz to utilize the family transfer exemption as presented in the exemption application and affidavit.
Second, any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Katie. RSID 8499 with El Toro Lane. John Hart and Jason Mitchell. Jason online?
I'm not sure where Jason is. I can get this started. Hopefully somebody from Public Works is available if there's questions.
Oh, Kevin's.
Kevin's here. I know as a property owner and representative of the petitioners. So commissioners, the description for this agenda item isn't, it does involve RSID 8499, which is a proposal to create an RSID to pave and otherwise improve El Toro Lane. I could have been a little more descriptive there because you'll recall on September 11th, you held a hearing on a petition that had been submitted by neighbors on El Toro Lane to create an RSID to finance some of the improvements on El Toro Lane, primarily paving. And at the conclusion of that public hearing and testimony, you did pass a resolution of intention to create that RSID. The clerk and treasurer's office published that resolution in the Missoulian twice, and a copy of the resolution of intention was mailed to all the owners of the 25 lots and parcels proposed to be in this rural improvement district. And there was a 30-day period that wherein any of the property owners who would be in the district and subject to assessment, if the district's created, they had 30 days to protest the creation of the RSID. And the clerk and treasurer's office did receive two protests. One was from Jeffrey and Teresa Neville at 10510 El Toro Lane, and the second protest was from Tina and Stephen Still, and their address is Treasure Court, which is part of the RSID. Excuse me. Even though the 30-day period to protest has ended, I think by opening this hearing, and the purpose of today's hearing, and these aren't my words, these are the words of the statute, are to hear and pass on those protests. By statute, if fewer than 50% of the property owners to be assessed protest, you can move forward with creating the RSID if that's what you choose to do. And it's my opinion that if, property owners came today and wanted to lodge additional protests, that we would accept those protests, even though they come technically after the 30-day period has expired. I don't know if that's the case. I am aware, though, that there are people that may be protesting, but also here in support of the RSID. So that's what I have to say. I can go over some of the financial details that were covered in the September 11th hearing, if you need it. And I don't know if there's Jason Mitchell or Eric Dixon is on the line and want to add anything. And of course, the citizens are here or the property owners are here to voice their support or opposition. So that's what I have to say.
I think it would be good to just, go over the highlights of the financial bits,
okay.
again, just for everyone in the room.
So the total cost, the estimated cost for all the improvements is $534,102. The property owners are proposing to finance $247,650 of that amount, and the remaining $286,452 and change will be paid from other available funds, almost all of which are in-kind contributions from the county and the Public Works Department that is proposing to provide the labor and equipment for the improvements. And so there's 25 lot owners, as I said. The costs that the property owners are proposing to finance over a period of 20 years is, again, $247,650. So that divided by the 25 lots Each of the property owners will be assessed a total principal amount of $9,906. That figure doesn't include interest, though there will be a modest interest on the municipal bond that will secure that loan of $247,650. Do you want more detail than that?
No, Josh has a question.
So thanks for all that, John. So essentially what we're really looking at in terms of an effective protest that would end this, it's a math equation. If there's 25 residents, if we have more than, is it 50% that protest, that ends the deal. And there's 2 protests right now. Is that correct?
Correct. Let's just for purposes of future education or something that the way that this RSID is proposed to be, the costs are proposed to be spread equally among all 25 lots. So everybody's paying that $9,900 or $9,600 amount plus interest. The way the statute actually reads is it's the property owner, if the property owners who are paying 50% or more of the amount of money that will be financed protest, then we couldn't go forward.
I see. So, the numbers here are about the amount that people would pay. So if it was assessed on some other method, like square footage or something, and some owners may end up covering a very large percentage of the cost, the number of owners in terms of dollar value could be greater than 50%, even if the number of owners as just owners was less than 50%.
Correct. That's exactly right.
But in this case, since the assessment is equal, it's the numbers game of how many owners are there, how many want it, how many protest.
Correct.
All right. So, and we have 2 protests right now, 2 out of 25.
Correct.
So what I would suggest to Madam Chair is, are there other folks here today who wish to protest that would then change the math? Please, I mean, you get.
Maybe before, well, let's hear from Kevin Heisler with. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just.
Before we do public comment, and let's hear from Public Works, either Jason or Kevin.
Yeah, anything to add?
Yeah, Kevin can certainly jump in there. He was the one that was sponsoring the RSID, but we certainly take no exception to the RSID and feel like it's a good way for both the constituents that live along El Toro and Public Works to get another paved road, which is our ultimate goal in Missoula County, to pave as much as possible, because long-term the costs are less for us. So yeah, I think it's a good deal, and open to any questions about it.
Thanks, Jason. That's Jason Mitchell, the Director of Public Works. Kevin, do you have anything to add?
Kevin Heisler, resident at 11077 El Toro Lane. I would just like to piggyback onto Jason's comments and just thank the commissioners for the opportunity to be able to leverage this to improve our road that desperately needs it. That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, if folks who like to protest this, come on up to the microphone. And then there's, state your name, and we'll try to do this within 3 minutes.
Oh.
And if you have more, you can leave it with us, and if it's written, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks, John, for presenting that. I'm Dustin Miller. I reside at 10545 El Toro. I formally oppose and deny the support for this proposed R&D bond concerning the El Toro Lane. I believe that the creation of this rural development should not be initiated or imposed by a single neighbor, especially when it results in additional financial assessments on surrounding property owners without their consent. The notion that one individual can trigger a process that may ultimately allow the county to levy our properties is deeply concerning, in my view, unjust. Our property taxes have already increased significantly over the last few years, as confirmed by county budget reports and public meetings. These increases alone have placed a growing financial burden on some homeowners, and the addition of the R&D assessment would exacerbate this issue. We strongly disagree with the county's ability to recalculate and increase the amount assessed to each lot, particularly when the improvements serve the interest of a single party rather than the broader community. We moved into the rural area fully aware of the conditions, including the presence of a dirt road, and we're perfectly content with that and all the challenges that Montana winters provide. The rural character of our neighborhood is part of its appeal, and we do not support changes that compromise this identity or impose unnecessary costs. Furthermore, we were not properly notified about the R&D proposal until receiving a certified letter. Kevin was putting these hand-delivered letters in mailboxes, which is basically a federal offense. So my proposal on his petition would be repetition all the landowners. I say that because the costs were not involved at the beginning of this petition. When he went individually to every house on El Toro Lane, the cost for the improvement was not there. So if we redo the petition, we might get more feedback on, rejection because of the cost. So
I'm sorry, Dustin, you meant the number, the $9,000
well,
figure?
the entire project
Okay.
was
thank you.
not
Wasn't shared.
Okay. Until we received the letter. So all that information was not there before when he was proposing we put asphalt on El Toro.
Okay, thank you.
So there has been no clear disclosure of the total improvement costs, which there has to some point, but future maintenance responsibilities, such as plowing or long-term financial implications. That's a concern I have. So in 3 or 4 years, when we have to re-asphalt that, who's going to foot that bill? The county? Is the county going to snow plow every day when it snows? Or are we still responsible for that? There's a bus that goes on El Toro and they park at the bottom. So if the county's responsible for the road now, we expect it to be plowed all the way to the end so the bus can pick those children up, not make them walk down. In the wintertime, that asphalt's going to be an ice rink. Right now, we do deal with a lot of ice, but the gravel on the road still supports us. So in closing, I respectfully request that the commissioners reject the R&D bond proposal for El Toro. The public benefit is questionable. This is simply to appease a few of the landowners that are all knowingly moved into the area with a dirt road. The financial burden should not be shifted to unwilling neighbors. The individuals requesting the improvement should bear the full cost unless we get 100% agreement amongst all the homeowners. So I oppose that the R&D and will continue to take further action to oppose, appeal, and stop this from moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Additional opposition? And Cheryl, I can't see if anyone's online. Okay. Okay, if anyone support this? Come on up. And we'll have Slotnick manage the hourglass. Okay.
I won't speak too long. I do support this project. My name is Mia Whitfield, and I live at 10866 El Toro Lane. We have lived there for 8 years, and there's a large group of us who have talked about this ever since I moved in, trying to get the road upgraded, maintained, and it's not just one person who started this, it's a group. Luckily, Kevin helped us figure out how to do it, but there is a large group of people who are very interested in having this done. Because currently a landowner is plowing it for free for everybody and has been for quite a few years. Some of us give him money to help him out, but it would be great. And I definitely support it and hope you guys do too.
Thank you, Mia.
Good afternoon. My name is Kimberly Roth, R-O-T-H. We live 10350 El Toro Lane. We've lived in that home since 1989. And over the course of the process of the street growing and the houses being built, there's been an enormous amount of wear and tear on the road over the course of the years, to the point at had difficulties with the school district wanting to drive up to collect the children because of the damage. And also the postal workers over the course of the year have had very difficult times getting to the mailboxes. I went out to the post office and they said that they would agree to actually submitting a letter to you to determine that their difficulty of getting over the years of various vehicles and individuals not successfully and having a very difficult time delivering our mail due to the damage of the road. And to Mia's current comments, we were all delivered mail, maybe not certified, but Kevin did an amazing job of clarifying the various aspects of costs, the various timelines that we could do it. And also, this has been an ongoing conversation for over 10 years, getting this road improved. And it's very damaging. And as a homeowner for 30 years, I would very much appreciate that you consider allowing us to get it improved with your assistance. And I think that the road would be so much more beneficial and safe for our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. I think there's, I think, are there more folks in the room before we go online to speak to this?
My name is Nicole Hollenbeck. I'm the other homeowner, Dustin Miller, and I live together there at our home. I will say, as to Kevin Hessler, the day I went out there, he was putting it in my mailbox, and I said, "What are you putting in there?" The letter, because I'd heard from the neighbor about this. He ripped it out of my hand and took it back, so I was not properly notified.
Thank you, Nicole. Anyone else in the room? Okay, online, we have a Stacy Flynn.
Hi there, this is Stacy Flynn. I live at 10580 El Toro Lane. I've lived here, my husband and I, for 25 years. And so I wanted to echo what Kim was saying, and Mia, we did receive proper notification and quite a bit of information about the costs. And as they mentioned, this has been going on for quite some time. We've dealt with this road, trying to help keep it updated. We're paying people individually. So we would appreciate your support of getting this done and pushed through. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Stacy. I need help, Cheryl. I can't see if there's anyone else. Okay. Any other public comment before we close it and discuss? Okay.
I had a question for Jason. You out there still, Jason?
Yes, sir.
What's the, if we were to make this RSID real, what would the maintenance situation be?
Yeah, great question, Josh. So with these, one of the benefits to the homeowners that live along El Toro would be that we would take over maintenance. Currently, it is a county right-of-way, but we do not maintain it. When we ask residents to bring a road up to county standards, once they do that, we will take over the maintenance of that road. So it would be maintained like any other road within our snowplow route. And then typically, we'd like to do a chip seal after paving in the next year. And then we would, of course, do any pothole management and potentially an overlay in the next 20 years.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So, just want to be clear, John, we had 25 landowners and we had how many protests?
4.
4? Is that correct?
Well, I think we had protests from 3 of the properties.
Okay.
3 of the 25.
3 of the 25.
I believe Nicole and Dustin, they have the same property, right?
Okay, and had already protested prior to today? Oh, no, this is it. Okay, thank
This
you.
was their first protest.
I see.
and that-
Okay.
And I think that the county should accept their protest. as a
Absolutely,
valid-
we're happy to do that.
As a valid protest.
Yeah. So we're at 3?
Correct.
Okay. So I would see just mathematically 3 out of 25 is a good distance away from the 50%. Given that, I would want to push for having this thing move forward.
And again, what would the cost per property owner be per year?
I don't know what they'll be per year. The total principal amount that they will pay over the course of 20 years is $9,906. But again, there will be the bond will have some interest, and so it's not a matter of just dividing $9,906 by 20.
Interest as well. Yeah.
But it's at least
Roughly,
in the ballpark.
who has a functioning calculator to ballpark this?
Don't look at me.
And the interest is.
Someone
Well,
with quick
I'm
fingers.
look-
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
looking at it now, so 9,996, John? Is that the estimate? Sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
$9,906.
Okay, and 6 divided by 24 residents,
No,
and then,
no,
sorry.
no, that's already divided by the 25.
Okay.
It's just
Years.
by 20 years.
okay, divided by 20. So that's per year about $495. And then, so a monthly cost would be about $41.27.
Excluding interest.
Yes, sir.
I just want to keep being clear about that.
For 20 years.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thanks, Jason.
What's our next step?
Well, if you determine that there's insufficient protests, and by law there is insufficient protests, you can adopt the resolution, you can approve the resolution to create RSID 8499. And that draft resolution is it's part of the agenda packet, part of the public notice that's part of the meeting today. And I didn't hear anything from the residents or anything that would modify that. So I'm not proposing any changes to that draft resolution. So you could approve it as is.
All right, so help me if I get this language wrong, please. But I would request board pass a resolution to create Rural Special Improvement District number 8499 to improve El Toro Lane.
Second, any further discussion or public comment? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have creation of Missoula Jurisdictional Advisory Committee. Andrew Hagemeyer, or Ann Flana. Sir.
Great. Greetings, Commissioners. I'm Andrew Hagemeyer. I'm the Community and Economic
Dustin.
Development Director for Missoula County. And Flana McClarty is our Lands and Economic Development Specialist, and she's here for backup. All right. So yeah, today we're here to consider the creation of the Missoula Jurisdictional Advisory Committee.
So in this past legislative session, Senate Bill 3 was adopted, and it requires the county create an advisory committee for our targeted economic development districts that involve a member of each school district that overlaps the boundary of those districts. So what that means for Missoula County is we have a number of targeted economic development districts that range from out at the Y all the way out to Bonner. So that would involve 5 school districts, which would be, off the top of my head, see if I get this wrong, Bonner, Missoula County Public Schools, DeSmet, Hellgate Elementary, and Frenchtown would be the school districts affected. So there would be a number of different ways to create this advisory committee, and staff looked at 4 different options. The first was the bill allowed us to not only just create an advisory committee involving school districts, but also to invite other taxing jurisdictions. And so option 1 that we looked at would invite all of the taxing jurisdictions that are affected by our TED districts. So that would include Missoula Rural Fire and Frenchtown Fire, and then I think the technical name is the Missoula Urban Transportation District, Mountain Line. So that would be option 1. This would be an inclusive option involving all taxing jurisdictions affected by TEDs. The second option we looked at would be to add the school districts to the MDA board. We have the Missoula Development Authority. They've been in place for many, many years. They right now advise the county commission on items related to tax increment financing. So we would, in this option, we would add the 5 school districts to this board. Of course, it makes the MDA board much larger than it is today. And the MDA board has under its bylaws, has a pretty large, it has a much broader scope than just tax increment financing, and it technically serves as Missoula County's port authority. So that's option 2. Option 3 we looked at was to create an advisory committee for each TED. That would be pretty administratively burdensome for Flana and I. And then option 4 would be to create an advisory committee that just involves school districts. So it would have 5 members on it. It would be easy to administer, like option 1 would, and it wouldn't meet the intent of the law, except it's not as broad in its inclusivity.
Andrew, I just want to be clear, all 4 of these options are consistent with the new statute.
Yeah, yes, yeah. So what staff recommends doing is creating a committee that involves all of the taxing jurisdictions. We like it because it's inclusive. It involves all of the taxing jurisdictions. I think that maybe is a weakness of Senate Bill 3 is it just focuses on school districts, but it does allow for us to add these others. It's administratively, it's within Flan and I's ability to manage. We would staff it, and it would meet the intent of the law. It's logistics. They would, this would be an official county committee, like a community council or the planning board or any of the other citizen committees that you have. It would be advisory to the Board of County Commissioners on items related to tax increment financing. The members would be the school districts, Frenchtown Fire, Missoula Rural Fire District, and Mountain Line. It technically also would include counties, so I think we included a county member. Yeah, according to the literal reading of the law, it says counties affected by TED, so there would be a county member on this as well. And the meetings would be held just like the MDA meeting or any other advisory committee meetings. They'd be open to the public. We would prepare packets of information. We would do presentations. We would hold public comment. We would, take minutes, et cetera, et cetera. And then those recommendations, how we intend this would work in our mind would be this meeting would happen very close to when the MDA meeting happened as well. And so any sort of discussion, recommendations, et cetera, would be also forwarded to the MDA board. So the MDA board would also hear these, hear the recommendations of this committee. And then the commissioners would see 2 recommendations, one from the MDA board and one from the jurisdictional committee on items related to tax increment financing. So at the MDA meeting, we presented this to the MDA board for them to ponder and take comment. And they had a number of public comments. The summary of the public comments very briefly is a number of taxing jurisdictions spoke just in how important it is that they are able to participate in items related to tax increment financing because of the impacts that it does have on them. There was some discussion about asking for inclusion on the MDA board itself in the public comment. And then there was quite a bit of discussion from the MDA board and members of the public about the intent of the law and can we just appoint people, or can people on the MDA board also represent the school district they live in, like as an example of a discussion item. The role of the MDA board itself, if there's another taxing, or if there's another body that discusses tax increment financing, should the MDA board continue that type of a conversation. So the MDA board did in recommending approval of the staff's recommendation. There was one dissenting vote, and if I was to summarize the dissent on that vote, it was around, well, maybe the MDA board shouldn't even deal with tax increment financing if we're going to have to, if we have this other committee.
I'm sorry, the closed captioning, I think, maybe misinterpreted your sentence. Can you repeat that?
On dissent, what that one no vote was?
What happened?
Yeah, I think
ultimately.
Based off the conversation, I think that one vote against was more of a protest that, well, maybe the MDA board doesn't even need to exist anymore, or hear items on tax increment financing if we have this other entity out there.
Thank you.
So I do have a recommended motion, the language up on the board, when you're ready.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the MDA board who'd like to speak to this? Okay. Good.
Could I do a 2-minute break before we jump into comment?
Oh, like leave
Yes,
the room?
yes. Just a little timeout for 2 minutes and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Everyone enjoy your 2 minutes. Okay, we'll come back. And I can't remember where we were. Yes, any public comment from anyone, because no one's here from the MDA. Chief Finley, did you say something? Yes.
Thanks a lot for coming, Chief.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Paul.
We're gonna do this even though you're the chief.
We'll do it. I'm going to be short, though.
Okay.
You got to flip.
I'll flip it as soon as you start.
Yep, go ahead. My name is Paul Finley from the Missoula Fire District, and just here to support the recommendation of staff that Missoula Fire District be included, as well as the school districts within the upcoming proposal. So we appreciate that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see anyone. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Matt Dreesen, Superintendent of DeSmet Elementary. Part of the issue that we ran into and was part of the discussion at the last meeting is that the intent of the law is to have school districts present in the discussions of the TIF districts and what they do. Having the MDA board have their own separate recommendations and then this board make its own separate recommendations does not meet the intent of the law, and that was where the dissent came from. If the MDA is going to be discussing TIFs, then there will be representatives from the school districts on that board. That's the intent of the law. If you want to have a separate entity, which is going to include the other taxing jurisdictions discussing the TIF districts and the TEDs, then that is no longer the purview of the MDA. That's our opinion on that.
Thank you, Matt. Anyone else?
I'm Jim Howard, Superintendent Bonner Elementary, and I just guess I'm going to echo Mr. Dreesen a little bit. It does seem to me that when the law was crafted, it was recognizing the reliance of local or public school districts on local property taxes, and I can just tell you, and I've had some conversations with this board about this in the past, the impact on Bonner School District of the TED and the TIFs over the long haul are significant, and we've had essentially no input in that process except at the front end. And of course, that was almost 15 years ago. And then there's a bond issued and can go for 35 years before our school district will see some of the benefits of those things. So I would like to see the school district voices elevated in whatever the decision-making is made, not diluted by multiple voices that were not the intent of the law. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if I understand that correctly, you felt the participation of the other taxing jurisdictions would dilute the school voices. Is that what you meant?
The intent of the law is written.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Don't seem to have any in the room. Any online? Okay, well, yep.
I just want to get clear on this, so John could ask you this question, that the option that we're entertaining here with all the taxing jurisdictions on their own separate board, staffed, advising the BCC, is, in your opinion, within the scope and the intent of the law?
I can't say what the intent of the law was because I wasn't a legislator. I didn't attend any of the hearings on this law. But the first principle of statutory interpretation is what do the words of the statute say? And if they're clear, then you don't have to try to divine what the intent of the legislators were in enacting the law. And so I'll just read the words in the law that has brought this action item to you today. And this is in Senate Bill 3. It's an amendment to MCA Title 7, Chapter Part 15, Chapter 4234, and it says that the legislative body of a local government that adopts a tax increment financing provision shall appoint an advisory committee to advise the local government about the administration of the urban renewal area or targeted economic development district. So you have been directed to create an advisory committee, and that's what is in front of you today. I'll go on, bear with me. The committee must include at least one representative from each incorporated city or town. There are no cities or towns in our TED districts. County, we're including a county representative, or school district with boundaries that overlap with the urban renewal area or targeted economic development district. You're doing that. This advisory committee is appointing a county rep and school district reps from each of the school districts. The committee may include representatives of other taxing bodies with boundaries that overlap with the urban renewal area or targeted economic development district. So the proposal in front of you is to exercise that option of including representatives of the other taxing bodies with boundaries that overlapped our TED. So
thanks.
That's a long answer to your question.
Good.
I believe that the proposal in front of you complies with the letter and spirit of the law.
Thanks. Thank you for reading it too. I'm good with the motion.
I'm still not sure I understand Jim Howard's concerns about the dilution of school voices. So can you talk to me a bit about that, or what's your interpretation of that? Or like
My sense, we should get it from Jim.
Yeah, Jim,
Rather than
can you
me
come back up
interpret it.
again? I'm
If you want to
sorry.
say your piece again, you're welcome to.
Well, I guess my question goes back to what was the intent of the law and who were the primary, what taxing entities were the primary focus of the law. And so certainly it's open to interpretation on a hierarchy of taxing entity needs and maybe amounts that they rely on it. I can just tell you from the school district perspective, my voice at Bonner School seemed to have, in my 11 years in the district, has had zero bearing on on decisions made by the MDA about how that particular TED and TIF impact our school district. So I'm not very sanguine about how much influence, even if this advisory board was made up of exclusively school districts, how much influence we would have. I know it's an advisory board. It has as much raw power as the community councils have, which is essentially none, but it's advisory board. And so that's my concern, is just what are the voices that are at the table. I understand the rural fire department doesn't agree with me on this, and I certainly value their voice and their our relationship as neighbors, and I don't want to undercut them. I think the frustration you hear in my experience is the lack of input that school districts have when a TED or a TIF is set up, and we face the significant financial ramifications of that with no voice. So,
okay, thank you. Yep.
So if I heard you right, John, and there was a shall and a may in there. The shall is you have to do this. We have to create a committee that includes the schools. We may, include other taxing jurisdictions. And in my time, I'm on the MDA board. I'm not a voting member. I just sit in and listen. I have heard a lot from the fire districts, from schools, from fire districts and schools. They're the only taxing jurisdictions we've heard from outside of the county. And strong voices with really great arguments. And I'm excited about including you all and elevating you all through a board to the same level as the MDA board. The MDA board makes recommendations to the county commissioners. This board would have the exact same level, would be staffed by the same people. And I can tell you with my complete full heart here, the commissioners take these recommendations seriously. Whether they're coming from the MDA board or from a community council. If people come together who've been appointed and have strong feelings and make a real recommendation, we really listen to that. That's why those boards exist. And I'm excited about elevating your all's voices and giving you a formal mechanism to speak on these things. Because as you pointed out, Jim, you haven't had that. And I think this will elevate your voices.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other public comment or discussion on this? Ready for a motion?
I would move to adopt the resolution creating the Missoula Jurisdictional Advisory Committee to advise the county commissioners on the administration of Missoula County's targeted economic development districts.
Second. Any discussion or public comment? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Is there any other business? Okay, we're adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.